Hi, it's Nick from the Run Testers, and this is our first run review of the Brooks Glycerin 20. So the Glycerin 20 is the latest version of Brooks' premium, cushioned daily training shoe, and the kind of big exciting change to the 20th edition is that they've used the DNA Loft V3 foam in the midsole. This is a nitrogen-infused foam we first saw in the kind of outlandish Brooks Aurora-BL last year, that was a really fun shoe actually, and got a lot of people very excited about this foam, and now we're seeing it being brought into Brooks's kind of classic lineup of road running shoes like the Glycerin. It cost £150 in the UK or $160 in the US. It is 314 grams in my UK size 9 or 11 ounces, and it's got a 10mm drop from heel to toe with 34mm stack at the heel and 24 at the forefoot. The Glycerin 20 comes in a few different versions. There's a GTS version which has Brooks' kind of guidance rails, to give a bit more support and stability, and there's also you can get both the standard and the GTS version with a stealth fit upper, which looks like kind of slightly sleeker upper. This is the standard version, which is a engineered mesh. It's pretty standard upper all round. It's nice, comfortable, kind of padded upper with lots of kind of extra cushioning around the tongue and collar, because this is a big premium daily trainer, and what you're getting here is a lot of comfort and a good kind of hold from a fairly traditional engineered mesh. So the midsole is the key change here, and like I say, the DNA Loft V3 foam that produced a very lively, kind of exciting and comfortable ride on the Aurora-BL shoe last year. In the Glycerin line, this has always been a shoe built for comfort, and comfort is still the kind of main priority of the shoe, but we should get a slightly kind of more bouncy, maybe slightly more versatile ride out of the shoe with this foam in the midsole. Brooks also says that the shoe has a wider platform than past editions and a smoother transition from heel to toe, although pretty much every running shoe that gets released has a smoother transition from heel to toe than its predecessor. It's always something brands like to say has been updated. Then on the outsole, you've got this generous covering of rubber, unlike the Aurora, which was kind of a bit more of a concept shoe, which had a lot of exposed foam. The Glycerin is a daily, is a training shoe that's built to last, so that might well change the feel of the foam underfoot, having this kind of big, thick rubber outsole, but it's also going to improve the grip and durability, which is very much what you need from the Glycerin.
So the fit for me in the Brooks Glycerin 20, true to size, very similar to the previous versions. But I would say it's quite a roomy shoe, so if you have small feet or narrow feet, you might need to tie it down quite tightly, but definitely true to size for me.
In terms of the fit, it's completely true to size for me. I'd say the toe box isn't quite as expansive and roomy as on some shoes, but it's great for me with a slightly narrow foot, so yeah, I was very happy, true to size. So I'm about to head out and do my first run in the Brooks Glycerin 20. I'm pretty excited about it. It's got that fantastic DNA Loft foam, so a completely redesigned midsole compared to the previous versions, which I always used to love as a really comfortable cruising shoe. Perfect first run for this in that I'm absolutely knackered. I've raced the last couple of days, did a 10k race Wednesday and then a mile race last night. A bit stressed out. I want a nice, cushy, cruisy 10k today, and I'm hoping the shoe's going to deliver the perfect ride for that. Just back now, nice easy 10k. The run and the shoe were both very enjoyable today out in the sun. It was just the ticket for today, the Glycerin, just a nice comfortable shoe. Can't we kind of roll through the miles on tired legs, and kind of fatigued system in general. And yeah, it was a good, enjoyable shoe. I think it's more like the Glycerin 19 than it is the Aurora-BL, if that makes sense. The BL was the kind of slightly poppier, livelier shoe, a fair bit lighter as well, and this retains a kind of the Glycerin feel of the line, which is a good thing. It's got that lovely step in comfort, very protective, very cushioned, very comfortable. But the foam is a little bit kind of just more responsive than on past Glycerins. It's a bit more kind of coming back to you when you do start to pick up your feet a little bit more. Most of the run today, I'd say, was just kind of a heavy-footed trudge, and it protects the legs nicely in that, but I think it's got a good kind of all-round feel to it as a shoe. I think the bigger outsole coverage here compared to the Aurora-BL certainly changes the ride a fair bit as well, because this is really built to be more durable, workhorse shoe, can handle lots of running, maybe some varied terrain, whereas the BL was a bit more of a sprightly thing with the kind of that exposed outsole. So yeah, it's still kind of the Glycerin, which is a good thing, but it does seem to be a little bit kind of improved in terms of the ride, but it's still, yeah, mainly very comfortable, and that's exactly what I wanted today. So looking forward to getting out in it again, do some kind of long runs. It definitely feels like a shoe that's just going to get better and better as the miles go by, like towards towards the end of the run. It was really impressing me. So yeah, definitely want to do some nice long stuff in it and see how it fares with some kind of varied daily training as well.
Okay, so I've just been out to do a 5-mile run in the Glycerin 20s. I've been very excited about trying these shoes for a long time. The Brooks Glycerin range is one of my favourite ever cushioned easy run shoes, but with a bit of versatility, and there's a load of updates in the Glycerin 20 which I was really excited to find out. The Brooks Glycerin 19 was my favourite cushion shoe for a year, and then recently I picked up the New Balance V3, so I've really been interested to see if the Brooks Glycerin 20 can compete with my new obsession with the V3. So after that 5 miles, I'm happy to say they are great. I really enjoyed that run. Very similar to the previous ones, but I definitely think that new midsole foam is a little bit softer, it feels a little bit more responsive, and I think there's a little bit more to the Brooks Glycerin 20 than there was in the previous versions. They're a really solid shoe for cushioning. They are a really comfortable shoe, but I just think the new version feels a little bit bouncier, a little bit softer, a little bit more comfortable, and the upper pretty much the same for me actually. It's the same as the previous versions. So not really much else to report after that run actually. So I did about 8 miles just down the coastal path, really flat, really enjoyable. I'd say that the shoe does feel probably slightly more versatile than the previous ones. I've always said that the Brooks Glycerin range is a nice versatile sort of easy shoe, but you can use it for daily training as well, which you can't really do with some of the more cushion shoes like the V3. So it's a more versatile shoe than that. I think the 20 is even more versatile. I'm looking forward to trying out some faster runs in it and yeah, seeing how it does at pace. But yeah, really enjoyed that first run. Okay, so my early verdict on the Brooks Glycerin 20, as you probably guessed, is very good. I really enjoyed the run. I think it's the number of updates that have been on the shoe have definitely made a positive improvement for me. I think it's a definite upgrade on the previous ones from what I've seen so far on that run, and I think it's going to be a shoe that I just really want to pick up all the time and go for all my easy runs in, because it's just really nice, comfortable, enjoyable shoe to run in from that run. So yeah, really looking forward to trying out a few more runs in it.
So I was very excited about the updates to the Glycerin line, but as a long-term fan of the Glycerin, I was a little bit concerned that it would lose its main appeal for me, which was comfort. By introducing a more modern, lively foam, maybe it would lose some of that kind of plush feel underfoot. And so I'm pleased that my kind of first run in the shoe, that was not the case. It very much still is a comfort-first shoe, and when you are kind of rolling through lots of mileage and easy miles in particular, it's nice to have that really cushioned feel underfoot. And then it's really how much better it can be with this foam underfoot. And there were points on the run today, certainly, when I started to pick my feet up a little bit more, and it felt a little bit more lively and responsive underfoot than I kind of can remember from past Glycerins. Really, obviously, we'll be keen to put that to the test in the future. I want to do a lot more running in it. I want some long runs, a bit more kind of steady running in it, and see how the feeling is over long miles in particular, because this shoe just screams me that it wants to eat up big mileage, and I want to kind of satisfy that appetite and go out there and put some long miles in it. So in the premium cruiser category, there's loads of these kind of shoes out there at the moment, and there are much softer, springier options like the Nike Invincible, and then there's kind of slightly more firm, responsive picks like the New Balance 1080 V12, and there's that kind of smooth Nike Infinity shoe as well, and the Puma Magnify Nitro I think has a pretty similar feel to the Glycerin. That's also got a nitrogen-infused foam in the midsole. So there's a lot of shoes out there. They all cost quite a lot of money. They're all designed to offer a lot of cushioning, a lot of comfort, while still hopefully having a little bit of versatility, especially for kind of newer runners. And I'll be interested to see where the Glycerin stacks up against them. Like, early impressions are that it's it's going to be a really good shoe, but we've got a lot more testing to do. It's obviously very expensive. That is the one big downside of these kind of category. At £150, it's always in the back of the mind. There's great shoes available for like £100, like the Puma Velocity Nitro 2, which I find very comfortable for easy runs as well. But if you are looking at that kind of big, cushioned premium cruiser, then the Glycerin has always done that job exceptionally well if you're not too worried about the price. And the 20th edition, on early impressions, does seem like it's going to be an improvement and a slightly new, exciting step for the line. That's it, guys. Thanks very much for watching our first run impressions of the Glycerin 20. Please like, subscribe and ring the little bell, and we'll see you next time.